but we can all choose to be something else. The research does not compel us nor make us, or even if society is struggling with happiness, we don't have to let this dictate who we are or how we feel. I've got some news here, and I just want you to bear with me, because you might hear this and go, Lucy, this is terrible news. Why are you reading this out? What are you doing? This is meant to be a positive and uplifting radio station. So bear with me. There is a news story here, and they have looked at the research and they have studied happiness, and they've realized that your most unhappiest age is during your 40s. Which is where Kel and I are at. Apparently there's increased pressures, there's changing values, there's heightened expectations. You're juggling your career. It is the height of having people all dependent on you, often kids, and then often aging parents as well. Your career will be at where it is. There will be family issues. You'll have personal goals you will have achieved and have not achieved. You'll have no time. You'll have a lot of responsibilities. Apparently, you feel like you are shouldering the weight of the world's problems in your 40s.
Okay.
They've said it's when people are at their unhappiness. Midlife slump is what they're calling it, and it's what the research is saying. And I read that and I was like, oh, that's not fair. That's awful. That's a bit sad.
That's very not a great, it's not a great advertisement for being in your 40s. However, that's what the research is saying. Just out of, and this is a question without notice.
Okay.
Is there any context? Is there a, are we flying in our 20s, our 60s? Did they say
So
when?
this article's just about the 40s, so I
Okay.
can't tell you any more of the research.
So by the sounds of the research, every other phase of life is great, and the 40s, you hit the wall.
Well, in the 20s, you don't, like, the world's pressures haven't weighed you down yet. You probably don't have a mortgage yet. You don't have kids. You're still dating and having the time of your life. You're at the beginning of your career. The possibilities are endless. You're so excited about life. And then the 40s hit and it's a trudge.
Wow.
And then they say later on, the 60s, you're retired, so you're happy.
Kids are out of the house.
Kids are out of the house, and then your happiness comes back. I think that's what they're saying, why it's occurred.
Okay.
But apparently you and I are right, and me being 45 this year, I am right in the middle of the unhappy 40s, they're saying.
Do you feel it, though? Do you think the research is right?
I want to say this. I want to say that research is one thing, but we can all choose to be something else. The research does not compel us nor make us, or even if society is struggling with happiness, we don't have to let this dictate who we are or how we feel. It would be easy to go, well, fine, I'm going to be unhappy. I'm 40 and I'm stressed out of my brain. Like, you can choose that, or you can choose to think opposite to that. You can choose to see the good in the day. You can choose to go, wow, I've survived 40 years. That's 40 more than many others. That's 20 more than many others. Hey, I've got a roof over my head. Wow, so many people in the world do not have that luxury. Hey, I've got food on the table. Hey, I've got this, I've got that. And we can choose, I think, to buck this trend, is what I'm saying.
I'm enjoying my 40s.
See,
For
this
what
is
it's
it,
worth.
right? Like, I get that pressures are high. We've got a mortgage now. You and I are in the, I guess, the middle of our careers.
And a lot of what they're saying is true. We're responsible for our kids.
We've got, and like everybody,
Yep.
when I say kids with issues, I don't mean that a negative thing. We have kids who have needs. Some
But
have different needs. Some have other needs. That can put a lot of stress on us, but we're surviving.
And I kind of thrive on being in charge of all of that. Like, I'm a father, so that's one of the responsibilities that comes with being a father.
I know. I look at my daughter Shiloh, and I would do anything for her. And having her, being responsible for her at this time of my life is my greatest joy. When I'm not responsible for her, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. But I love that I get to be her provider and her protector and her advocate.
And it's taken me 47 years of being alive on the planet, but never before am I more sure of who I am as a person.
Totally. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Never before
Yes.
have I cared any less about what people think.
That's what I want to say. So this article is like, you're going to be unhappy in your 40s. I want to say, no, in your 40s, you know who you are. You know what you are worth. You know the love you deserve. You have friends in your life that build you up and that are your cheerleaders and are not competing with you and not gossiping about you. You have real friends in your 40s. And also, you don't care what anyone thinks of you anymore. You don't care. You can go out looking however you want and you don't care anymore. And you can give your opinion in a kind and respectable way, but you also go, this is who I am. I don't need to be something I'm not. I love this. I love that you said that. It's so true. I want to say I'm in my 40s right now. And yes, we have stresses and pressures, but I am probably the happiest I've been because I'm the most me that I've ever been in my whole life. I'm the most me. And I found the greatest love of my life in my 40s.
Oh,
you.
me. All right.
And that, I'm like, how could this be my most unhappy decade? This is my most happiness. For me, this is the curve where I'm not going to have a curve. I'm going to choose to have an incline. It just goes up and up and up and up. That's my choice. So this morning, Light family, I just want to encourage you and say, listen, if you're in your 40s, you can choose whether you go, this is going to be my unhappiest decade, or you're going to go, this is going to be a decade of self-love and self-reflection. And I'm going to be so grateful, a decade of gratefulness and a decade of growth.